In 2019, BMW made a late entry into the full-size luxury SUV segment. Over 6 years, there have been a lot of changes to this car, specifically for 2023. People aren't as fond of the new design, so today I have a used 2019 BMW X7 XDrive50i. With 6 years of being on the market, how many sacrifices are you going to make with this 2019 model? Let's go ahead and find out. Let's start out with the pricing and trim level. The 2025 BMW X7 comes in 2 trim levels, but the 2019 model has 3, the XDrive40i, XDrive50i, and M50i. We have the mid XDrive50i with quite a few options. It pretty much goes without saying that this was over $100,000 when it was brand new. Used with 70,000 miles, it's about 43. With that out of the way, let's get into the rest of the video. One of the reasons why people don't like the new X7 is the front-end design. This 2019 model has a large grille, these functional vents at the bottom, and these traditional fully LED headlights with LED DRLs, LED turn signals, and these projector-style LED headlamps. Fog lights are included down below. The new X7, in my opinion, kind of looks like a squinting pig, and that makes the competition look so much better. Let me know in the comments which one looks better, the 2019 or the 2025. In my opinion, this one has the slight edge, but the new one isn't that bad. Moving on to the wheels, you'll find these 22-inch split-spoke alloy wheels. Because we have the M Sport package, this one has blue M brakes. Moving on to the side, you'll find blacked out chrome trim at the bottom and more blacked out chrome around the windows. The mirrors will be fully loaded with heating, blind spot monitoring, auto dimming, and power folding. Around the side, you'll also find another nice feature called an air suspension. This comes standard on their flagship SUV, the X7, and can be really nice if you need more ground clearance or an easy entry height. Definitely nice to see on a flagship SUV like this. Moving around to the back, you will find quad exhaust pipes and 2 larger tips, and you'll find a chrome strip that runs all the way across in between the taillights. Speaking of the taillights, these are going to be fully LED on every X7 model. You'll get an LED brake light, an LED reverse light that's pretty tiny, and an LED turn signal that's integrated with the brake lights. Now let's take a look at the interior and see how luxurious this BMW X7 is. The X7 is at the top of BMW's lineup, so that means it's going to be the most luxurious out of them as well. The door panel is going to be made of soft touch plastic on the top, leather on the armrest, and all your controls for your windows, sunshades, mirrors, and rear seats. You also get a bottle holder and a giant door pocket down below. Taking a look at the seats, these will be made of merino leather and they will be 20-way power adjusting. These also heat, ventilate, and massage you. Getting inside is relatively easy, and you can close the door with the soft close function. Taking a look at the steering wheel, this will be nicely leather wrapped and heated with M branding down below. You also get gloss black on your buttons and these half paddles. The gauge cluster on the X7 is very nice and the graphics are pretty crisp. You also get a head-up display if you don't want to look at it. Taking a look at materials, you'll find soft touch plastic on the upper dash, but you can choose full merino leather on the new one. You also get this customizable wood trim, but today we have the glossy wood trim, and you'll have a lot of aluminum running through here. The shifter and the iDrive controller will be made of real glass. Taking a look at storage, this will be okay in the X7. I did mention the giant door pockets, but you also get a wireless phone charging pad, 2 cup holders which are heated and cooled, and a good amount of space in the center console. This does, however, fall behind the Cadillac Escalade. Taking a look at the climate controls, you actually have physical buttons. The brand new BMW X7 has it all integrated into the touchscreen. So you have 5 zones of climate control on this one, which is absolutely insane, and you can control everything through here. You also get heated and ventilated seats. I really like the infotainment system in the BMW X7. It's very user-friendly, and you actually have physical buttons unlike the new one. This is the XDrive50i and can be controlled with this knob right here or the actual touchscreen. This has wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and as you can see, navigation. When you put it in reverse, you'll find a high-resolution backup camera with a 360-degree view. You also have a 3D view, which works really well. I like Audi's a little bit better where you can actually touch the car and then you can go around the whole thing, but this still works just fine. Taking a look up top, you'll find a giant panoramic sunroof. But what about the passenger side? What is your front passenger gonna get? The door panel will be basically the same with the soft touch plastic and the glossy wood trim, but you don't get all of the controls for the rear seats and the sunshades. You also get a large door pocket and some bottle storage. The seats will be made of the same merino leather with 20 ways of adjusting, heating, ventilation, and massaging. As far as the amenities, you'll find cup holders, glossy wood trim, and a button to massage your seat. There are multiple different modes that you can choose from on the screen. You also get passenger side memory, which is really nice to see on a flagship SUV like this BMW X7. But let's move on to the rear seats and see what kind of amenities you get back here. The door panel will be the same with the soft touch plastic and the leather. You also have controls for your left sunshade and your right sunshade. These will be power operated. Also, you can control the shade for your own panoramic sunroof, and the seats will be made of the same merino leather with heating and power adjusting. There are also these really nice pillows on your headrest. Inside of the X7, I have a good amount of legroom, although not as much as something else in the class like a Mercedes GLS or Cadillac Escalade, and there's a seat back pockets. This material can be cleaned very easily, and instead of an entertainment screen, there's an iPad mount and a USB-C port. There are a lot more USB-C ports than you'll ever need, with 2 more down here, another one on the other side, and a power outlet. There are also 2 cup holders and a large X7 brand. There's more storage and a 4-zone of climate control with the buttons for your heated seats. Overall, this is really nice, and you also get your own ambient lighting. To get into the third row, it's not that hard, but it does take a long time. You're going to pull this and then move the seat forward, and it's going to power adjust out of the way. While power seats are really nice, they do take a long time to give you access into the third row. If you forgot to fold up the third row, there are buttons right here to do just that. Now in the third row of the BMW X7, I don't have that much legroom because this third row is intended for kids. There's a lot of leather, ambient lights, wood trim, a cup holder on each side, and you'll also find a USB-C port and a tie-down hook under this right here. There is also a lot of amenities up on the ceiling. You get a 5th zone of climate control, buttons for your heated seats, and it doesn't stop there, because there's your own power sunroof. There's a power shade, but it doesn't open up, which is completely fine with me. This is something that you don't see every day, and not even the Mercedes GLS offers something like this. Now let's take a look at the cargo area, because this is also very important to the BMW X7. To open up the first part of the trunk, there's a switch in the normal spot. Of course, in typical BMW fashion, there is a clamshell opening. That gives you a bench for tailgating like in a pickup truck. Inside the trunk, there is a 12-volt outlet on the right side, and on the left side you'll find switches to power fold down the third row. Behind the third row, you'll find 12.8 cubic feet of trunk space and a false bottom. There's also a netted cubby on the right side. Behind the second row, you'll find 48.6 cubic feet and 90.6 as a maximum. With the optional captain's chairs, the second row can't fold flat like the GLS. Keep in mind, all the competition will offer more space in all 3 configurations. Let's talk about powertrain because this is very important for today's review. We have a 4.4-liter twin-turbo V8, making 456 horsepower and 479 pound-feet of torque. All of this is mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission, and you get some pretty bad fuel economy at 15 in the city, 21 on the highway, and 17 combined. This comes with the XDrive50i trim level, and there is an available M50i for the 2019 model year and an M60i for the 2025 model year, making 523. Those two powertrains will use the same 4.4-liter V8s. Let's see an acceleration clip. SUVs, mainstream and luxury, are becoming more and more popular, so let's talk about competition to this BMW X7. This does fall in a weird place, but it is, after all, a flagship full-sized SUV. This competes directly with the Mercedes GLS, which is no surprise, but some of you will also find yourselves cross-shopping with the Cadillac Escalade and Lincoln Navigator. There are also a couple more like the Infiniti QX80 and the Jeep Grand Wagoneer. So how does this compare in this segment? You do have a lot less cargo space compared to the bigger competitors like the Escalade, because obviously this one is a little bit smaller, but we'll get into that in a second. This is a very luxurious offering in the segment, and while there isn't as much space, a lot of the competition doesn't offer a third-row sunroof and heated third-row seats. Looking at dimensions, this BMW X7 measures in at 203 inches long and 79 inches wide. Well, that is going to wrap up today's video on this 2019 BMW X7 XDrive50i. Overall, this is a solid choice in 2024, but be sure to check out everything in the car before you buy a used car. Of course, if you want physical buttons in your BMW, you can't go wrong with an older model because the iDrive7 system works just fine. Also, you can get these for a pretty good price. With 70,000 miles on this particular X7, this one is running for about $42,000. That's not bad for a luxury SUV. So, would you buy this 2019 BMW X7 or the newest 2025? Comment your thoughts down below. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.